Well, okay, that's the Scottish vernacular there. I never meant that. I'll put my coffee down there a second. Welcome again, guys. This is my little studio area, and I'm going to answer the second question tonight that has been sent in by one of our readers, Julia, who's asked, what's the difference between channeling and deep trance? We have many people that misunderstand what channeling is and what trance is, and so I'm not going to go into the theta waves and the alpha waves and the beta waves. That's for a longer lesson, and that's to understand more in a scientific perspective. But let me give you, from a parapsychological point of view and from a mediumship point of view, and I don't want to upset too many people, and please be aware this is my opinion or my perception based on the years of study and development that I've had and guidance from the spirit world. So many people think that channeling is in fact trance. It's not. And then we tend to then label something a light trance and a deep trance. Okay, well, for me, and in my personal opinion, trance to me should be deep trance, and channeling is inspirational speaking. It's inspiration. It's almost a mediumistic level of communication. And so what that means is when people are saying they're channeling or they're in trance, they're not in trance. When they're saying they're channeling, all they're doing is they're raising the vibration and they're connecting to a spiritual source of information and allowing that information, the same way as anybody would do a reading, to download into their spiritual faculties in which they will use. And they will use those same tools that any medium will use. We'll use the element of clairvoyance and clairsentience and claircognizance and clairalien. We'll use all of those psychic faculties, clairaudience and sorry, there's a wee fly there. But here is the thing, and here is the big difference. When people are channeling, there is virtually, there's very little, if any, evidence that comes out. Okay? It's almost someone can go quiet and say they've got their guide coming in and start giving higher teachings, higher learnings and things. And to be honest, there's no evidence that comes with it. And oftentimes, the channeling in itself is not of a high caliber, okay? And I'll go on to the difference with deep trance in a moment, but channeling is almost coming from the ego self. And you're often not even raising your vibration enough or going into that. I'm not going into the right waves, but going into the brain wave pattern that you should be. And there's, as far as parapsychology is concerned, there is no scientific basis for channeling. And even if you go and study that on the internet, you'll find out there's very little scientific basis for channeling. Parapsychologists are looking for evidence. The same as somebody who's studying mediumship, we're looking for evidence. Now, where's the difference in channeling and mediumship? Mediumship, you'll be connecting to that discarnate entity and you will get intelligent information that you can verify. 99% of the time when people are channeling, there is no, because if we were talking to this higher guide, there would be some formal evidence that could come through that. Now in deep trance, when someone goes into deep trance, their brain waves are such at a level where they've gone really lower down, and they're almost in a comatose, they're out of it, it's almost like a deep sleep. And when the person's in deep trance, they are not aware or very ill aware of anything that's going on around them. There may be slight muffling or, whatever that they can get in their consciousness. But people that are developing deep trance will get to a point where we are allowing spirit to work within our energetic fields and within our spiritual selves. It's not a full possession, as a lot of people would consider that, but they're able to utilize our spiritual faculties and control elements of our physical faculties, okay? And so when that happens, we go into really, really kind of deep sleep, like beyond REM sleep. We get that sleeping element there, and our spirit friends and loved ones, not loved ones so much, but our spirit friends who are working with us are able to utilize our voice box and able to utilize certain physical aspects of our self. And that means then the evidence and information that comes through is of a higher caliber, and oftentimes is very evidential, even from an afterlife grief point of view, from bringing through evidence that may have to be understood later, maybe researched at some point. It is not. That doesn't really happen with channeling. And I'm not saying that all channelers are fake or anything. That's definitely not what I'm saying, because there are people that can channel, which I like to call inspirational speaking, not really channeling. I'm not a big believer in it. But I've heard, some amazing wisdom come through. And then I've heard the difference with deep trance, where the wisdom and the teachings. Now, if we look back to deep trance mediums, you've got Silver Birch, Morris Barbonell, and we've even got Helen Duncan. We've got all those from way back in the day, D.D. Hume. I wouldn't say Eusebia Palladino, even though she did do trance, but she would cheat if she could cheat. But there's many other trance channels. There's the White Eagle Lodge, and these trance were deep trance. They were out. When someone is in deep trance, you can almost test the responsive physical aspects of their body. At times, I know, I've been developing for many years and developing deep trance, and we've tested in our circle when we had the circle going, of actually putting pins or making physical nips, etc., and various physical tests to ensure that there is deep trance going on. So the difference with deep trance and channeling is deep trance is allowing is a closer relationship between the spirit, your spirit guides or your spirit team, than there would be in almost in channeling. Channeling to me is almost like a tertiary level. It's almost like you're a mind-to-mind connection. Not even a mind-to-mind connection. It could even be from a guide to another guide to somewhere else. We don't know. We have no proof. That's what I mean. There's no scientific evidence of how this works. It'd be fascinating to actually go and study it and do some research in it. But with deep trance, at least when evidence is coming through or teachings are coming through, it's normally from a very high level, and there is evidence in it. There is given evidence, and if we look back at the past and the likes of Silver, we don't have that anymore, but Silver Birch, there was physical phenomena in Hanan Swaffer Circle. There was physical evidence, and there was evidence, really, really good evidence. I mean, we've got evidence of deep trance channels doing what's called cross correspondences, sending evidential information back to another circle or another area and another part of the world, and all that coming together. That kind of doesn't happen in channeling, ladies and gentlemen. Channeling is when someone's saying, I'm channeling, oh God knows, the White Feather Brotherhood or something, and I channel 4 or 5 of them at the same time. That's almost like a kind of wishful dream. Anybody can go quiet and go into a meditative state and then start to say things. I mean, we see it in a lot of religious things where they try to speak in tongues and things like that. But channeling has no scientific basis, and I'm sorry to actually bring that to you, but it doesn't. And there's very little, and a lot of people will say, but what that person's saying is so lovely and so wonderful. But let's face it, if I read 100 books and I'm reading all about spiritual stuff all the time, my consciousness is going to be taking that information in. I'm going to be understanding, the loveliness of what's being said, or the information that's coming through, or how important it is to understand love, love, compassion, and forgiveness. All these things that I study all of these things that are within me, it's knowledge that's within me. And so a lot of times when people are channeling, they're kind of channeling from their own knowledge. It's stuff that they already know, even if it's something that's maybe connected to, I don't know, even previous lives that they've known or something. But you're looking for evidence, and there's a great deal of difference in trance and channeling. So for me, there's one type of trance, and that's deep trance. And this is why so many people, they say they're going into channeling, before you know it, they're in a circle and they're demonstrating live on Facebook and God knows what else, and they're channeling away. But that's neither here nor there. I would rather see students and rather see people that are willing to put the time and effort in, like Robin Foy, like Kai Mugi, like Warren Kaler, like David Thompson, like all these people that are doing physical or trance mediumship. Robert Goodwin, who's an excellent trance medium. There's very, very few people that actually can really do trance mediumship the way it used to be. Gordon Higginson was fantastic at it, but again, they would almost be in an altered state to the point where they had no awareness. And for me, that's more real than someone channeling when we shut our eyes, go into meditation and start to say we're channeling Merlin or channeling Jesus or God knows what else. Come and give me some evidence of that. Give me some higher teachings that are so far beyond my understanding that there is a wow factor. Or if indeed we were channeling that guide from a mediumistic point of view, when we connect with the spirit world and we get mediumship evidence coming through for loved ones, don't you think a spirit guide would want to give us some kind of evidence that it's who they are, or some kind of evidence that we can accept them? Even Silver Birch would say, test my words. He would say, you take what you can out of it, and don't believe everything, test everything. But he, in that circle, in the Hanan Swaffer circle, there was evidence after evidence after evidence. Okay? And remember, I've said in other interviews and things that one person's evidence is another person's failure, but the spirit world will know what to teach or what to give you that will sit and will be a discerned point of information within you that will give you that awakening. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, channeling is no more than inspirational speaking. Channeling is no more than regurgitating knowledge and wisdom that you may have already known. There is no scientific basis for channeling. It's very good if you can spiritually attune your consciousness and your mind to the other side, and to be able to pick up, almost like the Akashic record, you can pick up that wisdom and that knowledge and give it out. But it's not trance. Trance, there is a lot of there's conditions that go with trance, and I would expect somebody in deep trance, and I'm not a big lover of light trance, but deep trance, don't rush your development. Take your time. Develop for as long as it takes, so that you can go deep in trance and you can allow spirit to work with you and give you the evidence that you need. So I could go on with this for hours. There's so much to talk about. There's so many different personalities out there that were excellent trance mediums. But from what we have in this day and age, channeling is not trance. It's, and I'm sorry if that upsets a few people, but go to your circle, develop in your circle over a long time, over many years. Allow spirit to work with you, allow spirit to develop you, and allow spirit to bring through and bring forth the evidence that's required. Because, another thing, you won't just accept anything from anybody just because they say they come from spirit. You could be opening up a Pandora's box of problems. Always test, always ask, and always get the evidence. And if you're channeling, it's an aspect of inspirational speaking from a mediumistic faculty, and not necessarily connecting with the discarnate spirit on the other side. If you're going to connect to a discarnate spirit on the other side, we want evidence. If you've got any questions, guys, please get back to me. God bless.